Love in Deep Space. Chapter 5. Eternal Aurora. Part 1. Unspoken Secret. I press my thumb down on the lock and Grandma's box opens with a light mechanical click. The map on the desk shines over yellow papers. The ones at the top of the pile appear to contain experimental data with diagrams. Observation log. The subject's heart has been stable for the past 72 hours. Preliminary assessments indicate fusion with the Aether core was successful. AC fluctuation test number 1. The energy fluctuation value of the Aether core has reached level 2. The subject heart is stable. AC fluctuation test number 2. The energy fluctuation value of the Aether core has reached level 3. The subject heart is stable. Using a protocore with a human heart? Why did Grandma have records about an illegal experiment like that? It is also the first time I've ever heard of a protocore called Aether core. Could it be related to the one the association is looking for? I jot down the name of this special protocore and continue to read the files. The next few sheets report a similar data. The last sheet, however, is handwritten instead of typed. AC fluctuation test number 12. The energy fluctuation value of Aether core has reached level 7. The subject is showing abnormal signs. Warning, stop. The messy red handwriting ends with 3 startling exclamation marks. This looks like Grandma's handwriting. As I read the documents, a feeling of dread fills the room. Gender, female, age, 7-8, evil, and Hassan class. There is no name in the subject information category, but there's enough to make an educated guess. And Hassan class, evil. Could this test subject be? Questions and answers interlock with the chains in my mind. The sweet Grandma I knew has revealed a side of her I didn't know she had. The test subject in these records be me? As the initial shock subsides, I hesitate for a moment, then pick up the phone to call the only person who might have an answer.
Did something happen?
Zayne, I need to ask you a question. Sensing the urgency in my voice, Zayne's voice also becomes serious.
I'm listening.
It's about my heart. Is the protocore fragment in it the same ones in the other protocore syndrome patients? I just went through the stuff Grandma left me. The voice on the other end of the phone is silent. Zayne seems to be thinking about how to respond.
It certainly is a strange protocore fragment. After reviewing your condition, I've tried to find similar cases. But as far as I'm aware, you are the only one.
Is that because it's an Aether core? You're my primary care physician. Grandma also entrusted you to give me these papers. She must have a good reason.
It's only been 6 months since she passed. Regardless, aside from its name, I don't know much about it. The fragment in your heart has been there for a long time. Perhaps there's someone who can provide us with information. You remember Dr. Noah?
The person Zayne is talking about was the previous chief medical officer of Akazo Hospital. He's an old acquaintance of Grandma and Zayne's teacher. He's also the first doctor to treat my heart disease. If anyone knows something about these files Grandma left, it's him.
Dr. Noah is currently doing a personal research project in Snowcrest. If you want to meet him, I can help you get in touch. However, the weather in that area has been quite unpredictable as of late. The train to Snowcrest is often unavailable. I suggest visiting him in 2 weeks.
I don't have the time. Alright, I'll think about it. I try my best to sound nonchalant, but I already made up my mind. Part 2. No kissed coffee.
So you're already in the Arctic? Did anyone go with you?
Don't worry, I'm just going to relax at Snowcrest. I'll be back in a few days.
Really? That's good. If you kept working so much, they'd need to install an anti-workaholic mechanism in the watch. Have fun on your vacation!
Yeah, I'll get some souvenirs for you. I end the call with Tara. Outside, the blizzard has stopped. The sky appears more vivid than the other places. The dazzling blue hues cascade past the snow-capped mountains.
Ladies and gentlemen, we regret to inform you that the next train to Snowcrest has been cancelled. We apologize for the inconvenience.
We're currently in the middle of travel season. After hearing the announcement, the people on the platform drag their luggage back to the waiting room and grumble. After getting Dr. Noah's contact info from Zayne yesterday, I immediately scheduled a meeting for today. Watching the time tick away on my phone, I approached the counter, unwilling to give up on my journey. Excuse me, are there other ways to get to Snowcrest besides taking the Boris Express?
We still don't know if the train has been canceled because of the weather or for another reason. For your safety, please wait.
1 cheesecake and 1 croissant, please. Thank you.
A familiar voice reaches my ears. Surprised, I turn around and spot Zayne at the cafe nearby. Zayne? His fingers pause over the glass display. Zayne looks at me, but he doesn't seem surprised.
It's you.
I immediately regret calling out to him. I try to suppress my guilt and wave at him. I pretend it's just a normal day. Why are you here?
There's been a new development in Dr. Noah's research. He asked me to visit him a week ago.
After answering my poor excuse of a question, Zayne's gaze shifts back to the freshly baked bread on the counter.
He's not as young as he used to be and can't always do things alone anymore. I help him whenever I'm not too busy with work. Would you like to eat something together?
Thanks. I'll get a sandwich then.
Sir, the 2 lattes you ordered are ready. Here are to go.
As Zayne is about to pay, I beat him to it. It's on me. Since we're both stuck at the station, why don't we keep each other... I noticed the 2 lattes on the counter and suddenly realized something's off. Why did you get 2 lattes? He makes a soft and takes one of the lattes from me. The hot steam shrouds the smile on his face.
Did I say we met by chance?
Part 3. Beyond Expectations.
There's only one flight from Lincoln City to the Arctic. It departs in the morning and arrives in the evening local time, once a day. Snowcrest, where Dr. Noah isn't far from the train station. But because of how developed the transportation system is in the vast, sparsely populated region, we can only take particular train to go there. The display screen hanging overhead shows rows and rows of red display notices. The number of people in the waiting room decreases. As we wait, my mind recalls the files Grandma left me. There must be secrets behind it that are connected to me. Maybe it can also explain that explosion.
What are you thinking about?
Zayne's voice interrupts my drifting thoughts. I force a smile. I'm thinking about what an ether core is and why it was fused with my heart. What if I'm a dangerous experiment that escaped from a secret lab? Maybe armed men in suits will suddenly appear and take me away in a few seconds. Zayne listens to my wild thoughts without interrupting. Well, a few seconds have passed, and nothing happened.
Maybe you'll get your answers when we arrive in Snowcrest.
Zayne gently comforts me as if sensing my fear.
The protocore energy in your heart has always been stable. It can form an invisible shield to protect your heart when you're attacked. You also haven't become as weak as other patients with protocore syndrome. In other words, it's a power made just for you.
It was made just for me?
You won't have to worry about it anytime soon. You'll live for a long time, long enough to find out the truth.
I put my hand over my chest, trying to feel for anything weird with my heartbeat. Will the person who put the ether core in my heart want it back one day?
Ladies and gentlemen, we regret to inform you that the train to Snowcrest will be delayed until 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. We apologize for the inconvenience.
Really? It will be that long?
I'm not surprised. We'll have to spend the night in a hotel near the station.
A group of fully geared hunters rush past us. The evil rail guns in their hands are glowing blue. They're clearly charged. To be armed, and is the delay caused by Wander?
Let's get going. Heard Wanderer showed up in the dispatch center.
That sucks. I wanted to see the Aurora and Snowcrest.
They pick up their luggage and follow the very apologetic staff to a nearby hotel. I stay on the bench. Zayne wants to get up, but stops after glancing at me.
Are we not leaving?
Those hunters are on a mission. They must have a way to get to wherever they need to go, no matter how bad the weather is. An idea pops in my mind. I grab Zayne by the arm and chase after them. Let's help out.
Part 4. Battle.
Concentrate.
Part 5. Moving out.
Thanks a bunch. The dispatch center was quite crowded. Lincoln hunters like yourself have more experience in evacuating people and preparing for battle.
Don't mention it. We all learn from one another.
The magnetic field here is unique. Wanderers usually hang around the snowfield and mountains. They only started appearing in crowded places recently. It's probably because...
He smiles and trails off. The information is probably classified.
Judging from the scale of the damage at the dispatch center, no trains will be leaving from today onward. You guys are headed for Snowcrest, right? If you'd like, we can lend you a transport vehicle. It'll be bumpy, but it can traverse the snowy terrain.
You have my gratitude.
It's parked right outside the train station. Come with me.
It starts to snow outside. Zayne and I stand in the freezing. A majestic 4-dog sleigh is in front of us. The dogs are all handsome and have thick fur. Their height is around half an average person.
What do you think? It's a specialty here. Treat it like a tourist experience.
Awesome.
It's up to you now. My team is leaving. See ya!
Another cold gust blows past us. I look at Zayne quietly and smile sheepishly. We won't be able to make it to Snowcrest tonight. Maybe we should just find a hotel nearby. Zayne hops onto the sleigh and grabs the reins effortlessly with his gloved hand.
Get on.
So you know how to drive? I mean, ride it?
Not all of my trips were accompanied by medical staff. I've ridden these sleighs a few times.
But those are actual dogs.
You're on the deluxe snow dog. The auto driving system has been fully upgraded. Please select one of the following to start your adventure. Sightseeing. Full speed ahead. Children friendly.
It can talk? I stumble as I board the sleigh and almost fall onto the snow. Zayne grabs my arm just in time. The howling wind, Zayne glances at me through his goggles. His voice, muffled by a scarf, carries a hint of mirth.
Shall we get going?
Please drive safely. After passing through the vast snowfields, the terrain becomes even more mountainous. At the end of the horizon is Snowcrest, shrouded in dusk. The sleigh dogs start their journey back immediately. I rub my slightly wind-burnt face and talk to Zayne. Judging from how well you steered, you're definitely not someone who helps out a few times a year. You're more like a local. What did Dr. Noah say? Should we go directly to him, or...?
He said he's busy at the moment and can't pick us up in person. But
Zayne pauses. Curious, I meet his gaze.
he's arranged our pickup ride.
A snow-white silhouette suddenly appears between us. Oh! What is that?
I almost forgot how clingy he is.
In response, a white creature leaps out from the flower bed and lands on Zayne's luggage. Only now do I see a little white fox. Zayne closes his eyes as if hit by a migraine. When he opens his eyes, his expression turns to normal.
You've gained weight, Pi.
Wow! Can't just say that. You two know each other?
He is Dr. Noah's pickup ride.
Part 6. Enigmatic Guide.
Pi.
The fox ignored Zayne, but paused at the canned pet food Zayne had brought from Lincoln City. In this cold, soulless world where advanced technology reigns supreme, it's surprising to see a gluttonous creature. Here, eat as much as you want. I kneel down to pat the little fox's head. He turns to rub against me affectionately before eating more food.
He loves food, but not the person who bought it.
Did Dr. Noah name him Pie because his favorite dessert is white pie?
When Dr. Noah adopted him, he ate 6 pies in one go.
I can't help but chuckle. Zayne lifts Pie's right leg to check something. There's a little thing strapped to it. What is that?
A tag.
For a vaccination? I suddenly feel like Pie isn't simply Dr. Noah's pet. Zayne always kept a tight lid on his polar-related research. He calls it a vacation or visit to his teacher. What has he and Dr. Noah been researching, and why does it have to be done in such a cold place? As I watch Zayne brush off crumbs from Pie's with my curiosity.
Pie is very special. He's as intelligent as a 9-year-old child. Don't be fooled by his cute, innocent appearance.
With a poker face, Zayne blocks Pie's attempt to pick up another can and taps the fox's head.
You only get 1 can of snacks per day. Go on now.
Oh. Pie leads us swiftly through the streets. It takes a while, but we finally arrive at the place where Dr. Noah. Before we enter the front yard, we hear the sound of some creature whining and struggling.
There. The pain is gone now.
Little animals run around, stirring up snow and dirt. An old man wearing a large coat comforts the polar mink in his...
Zayne, what are you waiting for? Help me.
1 second.
Huh? There's a hint of metaflux in the air. Is it from the mink? Before I can ask, Zayne traps a bunch of black fur balls, scurrying about the yard with an ice cage he creates.
Are there other escapees?
No. They messed up my yard again.
Zayne catches another few animals the same way and puts them back in their cages.
Does the antagonist no longer work?
Its effectiveness was shortened by a week. It seems the metaflux around this area is increasing again. Oh, hello. Long time no see.
Dr. Noah dusts off the snow from his knees, gets up and walks over with a wide smile on his face.
Come on in. It'll be warmer inside.
Part 7. Aether Core.
How's the fish? It's not much, but I caught it myself.
This is the first time I've eaten a very sweet fish. It has a unique flavor.
Dr. Noah is very old, so his taste buds don't work anymore.
After dinner, we sit in front of the fireplace together. Having eaten his fill, Pie sleeps between me and Zayne. Dr. Noah puts on his spectacles and studies the files I brought.
So your grandmother told you everything?
All she left me was this box of files. The rest I can only speculate. Is the protocore in my heart really an ether core? And was it placed there on purpose?
I don't know why or how the process was done, but in regards to the protocore, even a minimally invasive surgery can leave behind traces.
Dr. Noah looks up at me with expectant eyes.
If I had to guess, it might be your innate strength.
How can that...
There are countless, seemingly impossible hypotheses behind every scientific conclusion. Before the evol gene emerged, no one believed they could wield the power of nature.
But all experiments have a purpose. Why... or what could the ether core in my heart possibly...
What were they trying to prove?
The old man laughs dryly and shakes his head.
Why do you think people want to go inside the deep space tunnel? Some things are attractive by simply existing. Unraveling the unknown is a purpose in and of itself. Some are willing to do anything to achieve their goals. So, don't let anyone know about your Aether core.
While I haven't told everyone, Grandma is... I try to suppress the pain in my heart and compose myself. The person responsible for this will find me sooner or later. That's why I need to know what makes the Aether core so special. You say there are people willing to do anything to achieve their goals. Who exactly?
Aether was originally something philosophers came up with. The fifth element, so to speak. No one can prove or disprove Aether exists. Maybe that's the reason your grandmother called it Aether. A mysterious energy that surpasses the other protocores. Anyone who knows about it will desire it.
And anyone who has it will pay the price. The Aether core is at the center of an intricate web. What happened to my family is just one thread of it. As if sensing my thoughts, Dr. Zayne gently pats me on the shoulder.
Don't worry about it too much. They shouldn't be able to find you anytime soon. The amount of energy in your heart right now is far less than what the experimental data shows. It's possible an accident occurred in the final experiment, which reduced the Aether core's power.
Reduce the power?
I'm just guessing. This is beyond my field of expertise.
Who else knows about the experiments?
To better understand your heart's condition, I tried to contact those researchers privately. But most had either died or disappeared. It'd be hard to find any of them today. I do recall your grandmother mentioning one had run away to, N109 zone. They joined Anakinus.
Anakinus? I didn't expect to hear that name from him. But after giving it some thought, it makes sense.
Their fellow researchers started dying or disappearing soon after that.
I only knew Grandma used to be scientific. She never mentioned. Our home also didn't have any hints about the past. Dr. Noah, I have one last question about Grandma. Was she the person who put the Aether core in my heart?
I know very little about your grandmother. But not everyone is lucky enough to do what's right in the beginning. We can only hope we'd have the chance to turn it into something we won't regret.
Now, Dr. Noah puts all the files back in the box and hands it to me.
Maybe this is the choice she made.
Part 8. Snowy Tranquility.
In the stillness of the night, all is quiet except for the muffled crackling of fireplace. Occasionally, a few sparks pop out from the flames, making a crisp sound. After tossing and turning in my bed, I decided to sit in front of the fireplace and go through the files left by Grandma. The Aether core, energy incomparable to other protocores. Grandma knew something might target people related to Aether core. Is that why she kept me in the dark for so long? What should I do now? While my mind is a tangled mess, I hear a rhythmic tapping sound from the French windows. As I turn, I see Zayne standing there with a thin layer of snow in his hair.
Will there really be one tonight?
The weather forecast predicted heavy snowfall with cloudy skies, and the KP index is low. It's unlikely we'll see an aurora.
Then why did you...
When visiting for the first time, an aurora is required to make the trip worthwhile. Look, the snow has stopped. Only at the very end will someone know if there is a watershed moment.
Until the very end. Yet, Grandma and those researchers... they... But there are people who persist until the very end, only to be defeated.
I meant the aurora.
Same. What's that over there?
Mount Eternal.
Oh. I remember. It had an anomalous protofield a few years back. Dr. Noah chose to live here in the Arctic. for your research project, right?
Not necessarily. My friend sacrificed himself during the protofield anomaly that took place here.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
Is there more to his sacrifice? Like a secret?
It was an accident. It's already in the past.
Do you think the pain caused by death can truly be forgotten with time?
It cannot. Time can't heal everything, nor can someone simply forget the pain. However, people can become accustomed to sorrow.
But time has helped you and Dr. Noah find things worth living for, hasn't it?
The Aurora.
You're right. An Aurora is required to make an Arctic trip worthwhile. It's a shame we can only enjoy it for a few moments.
If you're sad, let this stay behind to appreciate the Aurora in your place.
Aww. It's so cute.
Is that snowman supposed to be me? Are you going to stay in Snowcrest for a while longer? Well, I'll leave this with you then. Will the snowman remind you of me?
No.
No.
However, when I do think of you, I'll just call.
To give me more doctor's orders? You're a very dedicated physician.
After you leave here and return home, you'll likely be quite busy.
Yeah. Busy learning about the secrets of the Aether core and Anakinus. Let's hope that both of us can find the truth we seek.
Part 9. Snowy Mountain.
I'm going back to sleep. Good night.
Good night.
I bid farewell to Zayne once we return to the living room. The Aurora might have actually put me at ease. A wave of tiredness overwhelms me.
Wait.
He picks up the documents scattered on the sofa, then he quickly organizes them and hands them to me.
Here. These documents contain information about the energy in your heart and its connection to the Aether core. If they're leaked, you might become Anakinus' next target.
I know. But why would they kill research who worked with the Aether core? They want to keep its existence a secret.
Perhaps they don't want anyone else to get their hands on it, as they try to obtain one for themselves. Or there are Aether cores already in their possession, and they're currently trying to keep it secret.
I pause for a moment, and then grab the documents from Zayne's hand.
What is it?
You said there could be an Aether core in Anakinus' possession, right? I quickly flip through the document, and an idea forms in my mind.
I was only speculating.
No, you might be onto something. Found it. Energy at rest 30217E. This is my heart's minimum energy output value that corresponds to the ground state of the Aether core. It dawns on me. I lift my arm and use my hunter's watch to look through the database on the protocore I found in the no-hunt zone. .9. Protocurve of that protocore and the energy value in its ground state is close to the energy value of the Earth. Meanwhile, the energy value for ordinary protocore is around 2500 EV. This can't be a coincidence. That protocore is a result of Anakinus using an Aether core to modify it. As Dr. Noah said, the Aether core could already be in Anakinus' hand. A cheerful cry snaps me back to reality. Pi circles around me twice, curiously paws at the luggage up by my feet.
It took a lot of effort to get here. Why not stay for a few more days?
Thank you, but I want to go back home and double check something. When I have time, I'll visit you again. Then I'll stay until you beg me to leave.
Great. I'll hold you to it. I called a friend. He'll take you to the train station in a bit.
Pi.
Zayne walks out of the house carrying his belongings and beckons Pi to his side.
All set?
Mm-hmm. It's freezing. Please go back inside. Pi will be my guide.
Zayne exchanges a few words in a low voice with Dr. Noah, then walks over to me.
Stay safe.
You really aren't coming with me?
What? Did you think I was joking when I said I was here on business?
No, not really. I shift my gaze, the distant snowy mountain, a deep slumber. For some reason, hearing that Zayne plans to venture deep into the Mount Eternal reminds me of what he mentioned last night. I feel uneasy. You take care of yourself and Pi.
I will.
Pi barks twice at the entrance, and Zayne nods to Dr. Noah before turning around and leaving. As daybreak arrives, everything else is still sleeping. His figure disappears step by step as he heads to the wintry mountain. In boundless white, he stands out like a lone stroke of black paint on a blank canvas, adding a touch of depth and beauty to pure sea. I blink and notice my vision has become slightly blurry. I rub my eyes and see tiny snowflakes. It's snowing again.